everybody! Welcome to This Is Why We Laugh. This is, as you may be able to tell, not our first attempt at recording this. How you going, Joe?
I'm fine.
So even when not live, we have technical issues. Anyway, I hope everybody is well. Joe is. We gather here today to talk about our good friend Boris, while Joe is softly laughing in the background apparently.
I don't know what's funny that you're trying to carry on. Can anyone even hear you over me laughing? I'm so sorry.
Out of interest, what shade of beetroot are you at the moment?
Oh God, I'm trying to think. I'm crying. Ugh. And let me just dry my face. Hello, everyone.
Carry on, nobody noticed.
No one noticed, yeah. Nothing to see here. When you see the headline we're going to discuss tonight, you'll see why we were laughing. Yes, hello and welcome to the show. It's let's talk about as usual. Let's laugh about.
Let's talk about.
I'm trying to recover. What are you doing? Okay. Yes, so it's let's talk about, or a boot, but I'm not Canadian, so I'm not going to do that. And this evening we are talking about Boris. Shocker, I know. Boris has done something remarkable, hasn't he?
But you mean he combed his hair? Surely not.
No, not miraculous. Just remarkable. Okay, shall we have a look?
He's got the vaccine, everybody.
Yes, shall we
Boris
have a look?
Johnson receives first dose of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine.
And look at that. This is what he said. I literally did not feel a thing. And much like all the other celebrities, he didn't really have a vaccination. Oh my God. That's why I was laughing. Apologies to everyone.
What a picture. They've just sat him down in a chair. They could have said, Boris, mate, help us out a little, would you? Sit at least somewhat tidily, please.
Yeah, that's your nutty Professor Boris taking centre stage again. The serious Boris is over. The public doesn't like serious Boris, right?
Oh God, no! Nobody likes serious Boris. Serious Boris is boring.
So he's gone back to being the crazy uncle. Anyway, should we have a look and see? Well, that must have been an amazing feeling to have an injection that you can't feel. Maybe the injection's not really there. Let's find out. Breaking news as well. There you go.
It is as of today, which is Friday the 19th of March.
Yes, indeed. So he got his first AstraZeneca vaccine dose at St Thomas's Hospital, where he was treated in intensive care. I'm not sure why that's necessary, but okay.
To be fair, he looked awful after that.
Let's have a quick look. Do we think that's actually Boris, for starters?
The hair is a bit tidy.
Excuse me, sir. Signal if you're being held captive. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, that jumped a bit. Okay, let's read some of this then. The Prime Minister, who is aged 56, not sure whether that's necessary for this story, but...
Because that means that he's within the age bracket.
I think personally, after everything the government have done with regard to legislation and laws that they've enforced lately, I think it's terrible that he had his vaccine before everyone else in the world has got theirs. Rather selfish, actually.
Why do you think he would have donated it?
I think on the basis of this that I'm going to donate mine. If I'm offered the vaccine, you can rest assured, everyone, I will engage in a selfless gesture and refuse to accept any kind of vaccination until everyone else has one. I urge you all to do the same.
That's very, very kind of you.
I think it's all we can do, and it's what we should do.
In these trying times.
Yes. We must give of ourselves. We must give to others. And boy, am I glad to give someone else the vaccine. So there you go. If anyone wants my dose, have at it. By having the vaccine, it goes on to say, Mr. Johnson joins more than 26 million people in the UK who have received a first dose. 26 million. That's rather a low number. Much lower than I thought it would be.
Well, the way they're banging on about it, you'd expect almost everybody to have had it by now.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of interesting, though. 26 million people, they're still doing the under or the over 45s.
Well, they haven't. I know that there have been stories that certain groups who are considered not, I don't say not at risk at all, maybe not high risk, have received their doses before. There just seems to be no rhyme or reason to it. That's the point. I
thought they were doing it via ages.
Well, I think what the government are actually doing via their little health arm is, I think they're offering it to everyone in the hopes that there'll be enough uptake to justify all the expense, because a lot of people are refusing this experimental vaccine. They've probably had to skip the protocols for doing it in a certain order, because too many people are saying, I don't want it. Well, it's still being tested on, well, the human population. I don't know. Should we try and zoom into that picture? Should we see if the cap is on? Should we have a look?
Okay, let's give that a go. I'm doing it on my end as well, just so I can make sure.
Oh, nice picture of Boris there. Wonderful.
But you know what? There's no mistakes on this one. Fair enough.
It's really hard to see, and I can't get it to go any larger.
It is very hard to see. It's an incredibly low-res picture, it must be said.
Yeah.
Did they take this on like a mobile phone or something?
Well, that nurse/actress, I'm guessing, handily has a finger in the way, so you can't actually see. What a shame. There we go. Anyway, look at him just letting it all hang out. Like, that's the Prime Minister. Look at the way he's sat. Just flop into a chair.
He's like Mr. Blobby.
He literally doesn't care. He doesn't care.
See, this is when Boris is endearing. Just when he doesn't care and he just exists.
Yes, when he's not trying to annihilate us all, he's very endearing. I wish he'd do more of that.
If it weren't for the COVID thing, I think he would be one of the most popular Prime Ministers ever. Purely because the PR optics of him are absolutely amazing.
I wish he'd do more work on the kind of the bumbling stuff, you know, like wrestling children to the ground during sports events and...
What do you mean wrestling? There was no wrestling going on. He just mowed that child down.
Okay, fine. It was a violent scrummage. But the point is, that's the kind of stuff that's endearing. If only he wasn't such an evil megalomaniac, you could find him quite likeable. Anyway...
I don't think there is anybody in the country who didn't like him at least a little tiny bit once he got stuck on that zip line.
Yeah, just hanging there, just hanging around like a piece of old rubbish.
Like a sack of meat. Not even a sack of potatoes, just hanging there like a sack of meat with his little flags.
Like a dead bird whose claws have gone into rigor mortis and it just flips upside down and just starts swinging in the breeze. I don't know, that was weird, I know. As he left... I've been watching too many cartoons, that's what it is. As he left the hospital on Friday evening, he told reporters, I literally did not feel a thing. And so it was very good, very quick, and I cannot recommend it too highly. Well, if you didn't feel it, how can you recommend it? How do you know it happened?
One minute. I literally did not feel a thing, and it was it was very good. What does that mean?
I don't know, but that wasn't written by someone whose first language is English, is it?
Well, it did come straight out of Boris's brain, so.
It says, I literally did not feel a thing, and so it was very good. It's like remedial classes. It's amazing.
The problem, I do feel a little bit sorry for reporters when they're trying to
Not decipher
write
Boris
down.
speak.
Yeah, to write down what Boris says, because that man stutters and stumbles more than me, which is quite impressive.
I literally did not feel a thing.
That is not Boris at all.
No, it's not. So I'm going to give up. Anyway.
That is like a drunk Lord Farquhar.
Then he goes on to say, everybody, when you do get your notification to go for a jab, please go and get it. It is the best thing for you, best thing for your family, and for everybody else. There you go. That's the messenger. That's the nudge.
That's accidental nudge city.
That's nudge on crack. That's amazing.
It's the best thing for you. So that's a default. Best thing for your family. That's salience. Best thing for everybody else. That's ego. That's actually remarkable how in one sentence he's managed to cram 3 of those things in. Just quick fire succession. That's actually remarkable.
And again, using the old adage of people tend to do what they think the majority are doing. You'll notice this message has come from every single... I don't want to use the word celebrity because that means that we celebrate them and we mock them. Famous people.
Public personalities.
Yes.
There you go.
People who you have heard of. And you get the same message from all of them. And it's basically, look, children, I've done this, you can do this too. Then he goes on to add, in fact, I'm going to let you read this one, Jordan.
He added, don't just listen to me, listen to all the scientists. Listen to what the European Medical Agencies... European Union Medicines Agency. I don't know why that one doesn't stick in my brain. I had trouble reading that earlier on. Had to say, to what the MHRA, Medicines and Healthcare Product Regulation Agency, has said. The risk is COVID. This is a great thing to do.
So much to unpick here. Don't just listen to me. Listen to all the scientists. Well, there is no scientific consensus here, so all of the scientists are not saying the same thing.
What's that woman's name we were talking about the other day?
There's Rosa Cora or there's Dolores Cahill.
Dolores Cahill, thank you very much. There you go. That's one scientist these people don't want you listening to.
One of many. The risk is COVID. I'm not going to add anything to that.
This is a great thing to do.
Why would... Now, that is sinister. This is a great thing to do. In any other circumstance during a global pandemic, you would not have to be told that having a vaccine is a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't people be clamouring for the vaccine? Wouldn't people be begging for their turn?
You mean much like they were back in the 50s with the polio vaccine?
Yes. Wouldn't people be begging? They wouldn't need convincing to have it. This is a great thing to do. Wouldn't a more appropriate sentence be something like, this is the best way to ensure your safety and that of your loved ones? This is a great thing to do.
They've turned that around.
It's a selling point. Why are they having to sell a vaccine for a pandemic?
That's a good point. They've turned that around. That was a good catch. I didn't get that at first.
And why have to reiterate the risk is COVID?
I'm pretty certain nobody had to be reminded the risk was the Black Plague.
Exactly. Has anyone forgotten about COVID in the last year? Did anyone need reminding what the name is of the global pandemic? Or the cause of it?
Honestly, I think there's a lot of people out there going to work, just carrying on as normal, starting businesses left and right. Nothing has changed for them.
Maybe so, but nobody's forgotten the name of it, surely.
I can't imagine anyone has forgotten. I can't. They say things sometimes, and I don't think they take it away from the PR people for long enough, if that makes sense. Like the PR department comes out with something, and then politicians say it before anybody else has had the chance to sit there and think it through for more than 2 seconds.
Well, that's true. That's true. They also go on to say he got his vaccine at the end of a week in which the government admitted the UK supply of jabs is likely to be tighter next month. Amid delays to supplies from India and a need to retest more than 1.5 million doses. That's interesting. Retest.
Why do you need to be retested? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Kept that one quiet.
Hmm.
Is that retest more than 1.5 million doses that have been given to people? Or is that doses that are due to be rolled out?
I'm not sure. I've actually just found the article for that. 1 second. I'll send it over to you and you can pop it on screen. COVID-19 need to retest 1.7 million doses and delays to supplies from India behind reduced vaccine numbers, Matt Hancock says. Health Secretary admits vaccine supply in April will be tighter when there are around 12 million second doses to deliver. See, I saw the video earlier on. I didn't see one with text. This is one with text.
Right. Let's have a look at the rest of this and then I'll put that one up on the screen. I've got so many tabs open. Oh, that was the end of it. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, no. No, there's more.
Yeah, just scroll down.
Oh, they're talking about AstraZeneca. The EU did a remarkable U-turn on AstraZeneca, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Because lots of countries had refused to roll that particular one out. Mm-hmm. Because of issues with blood clots and lots of people dying. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, I can't imagine what was brought to bear, but the EU did a complete U-turn and said it was safe. Safe and effective, no less.
Yep. But he's done 2 things. We were talking about this just before we started laughing hysterically and then recording. They've done 2 things by doing this. One, they've increased scarcity. So they've made people in Europe feel that there is a shortage of vaccines.
Yes.
And 2, in this country, they've increased the vaccine nationalism, which is basically people who are so anti-EU, the European Union could tell them that the sky was blue and they'd find a reason to disagree with them.
Plus, you've still got those people that begin with R who love it when the EU put Britain down.
Oh, there's that as well, the Ramonas. You've got to keep them fed, haven't you?
Got to throw them a few scraps every once in a while. So the World Health Organization have also said the jab is safe and have encouraged people to take up their vaccine appointments. The Oxford jab is safe and the Pfizer jab is safe, Mr. Johnson said at a Downing Street briefing on Thursday evening. Mr. Johnson, of course, not being any kind of scientist, of course, if he says it's safe, it must be. The thing that isn't safe, he goes on to say, is catching COVID, which is why it is so important that we all get our jabs as soon as our turn comes. Again, with this message, this constant selling this idea that COVID is the risk and that the jab is the solution. It feels like a bit of a hard sell, doesn't it? Like they're trying too hard.
Mm-hmm. So I just started playing a video of mine.
Oh, look, and then just to reinforce this statement, they go on to say that US President, Joe Biden, India's Narendra Modi, Indonesia's Joko Widodo, Turkey's Erdogan, Israel's Netanyahu, and Saudi Arabia's King Salman are other world leaders to have received a COVID vaccine. In the UK, both the Queen and Prince Philip have received a jab. Oh, Philip's doing great since his jab, isn't he? As has Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, shocker. Welsh First Minister Mark Drakeford, awful person, look into his private business, won't you? Because that's very illuminating. And former Prime Ministers, come on, and former EU puppets Theresa May and David Cameron. Is this supposed to reassure people that the jab is a good thing to have?
I don't really understand why they think that dragging these people out and saying they've had the vaccine is in any way, shape or form relevant. There's not very many people who like them, just as one-off individuals, let alone all of them combined.
It's also interesting because once again it shows what they think of us, that they can just trot out some names of famous people and that would be enough to convince us. Because these people are important, right? And if these important people can do this, then so can you, because their lives actually matter and your lives don't. That's what I get from it.
The interesting thing is, they know from the Mindspace document that in order for messenger to be effective, it has to be someone outside of the government. So at the same token, they must know that having somebody within the government act as the messenger, it is not effective. It's actually the exact opposite.
And yet they still engage with this nonsense, don't they?
Yeah, why?
Reinforcement. Reinforcing the message. Or maybe they just think that the public trust has been somehow re-established, maybe?
I wonder if it is simply they like the politicians standing up and leading the way, as it were. Maybe it does something within the civil service, I have no idea. That's the only reason I can imagine. I can't see that being very effective either.
Well, there's been a lot of anti-politician feeling in the country over the last year. I wonder if they believe their own propaganda and that the majority actually think that the vaccine's a good thing, or that they have somehow dismissed the fact that it's been rushed, it's not been tested thoroughly. It's currently being tested on nations' populations, and that people genuinely believe that this is the right thing to do, and that they actually do support what governments are doing. They must believe this, or they're just openly laughing at us. It's up to you to decide which you think it is.
A combination of both?
This is also interesting, this last paragraph. The NHS recommends people who have already had and recovered from COVID should still get vaccinated. Why?
If you have the flu, do you have to, or not do you have to, are you recommended to get the flu jab the same year?
Yes, you are recommended, but that's because of profit. Normally, when you catch something and you recover from it, it means that your body has successfully produced sufficient antibodies to fight back. And it's almost like I'm trying to think of an equivalent. An equivalent term would be muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
That once these antibodies have been produced and once they've recognised the threat and fought the threat, if that threat should come along again, they will be ready and prepared for it. So your body would recognise this particular threat if it came back. Of course, it's very convenient that there are so many different strains now, which is probably how they're getting away with telling people that antibodies aren't going to do the job anymore. But arguably, if there is not enough vaccine medication, I use that term loosely, for everybody, wouldn't they advise people who have had it and recovered to kind of be at the back of the queue?
Yes. Yes, they would be.
And yet there's no such implication here. They're basically saying, no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstance, go and have a vaccine. Because these leaders that you don't have any time for, that you don't respect, have had it, so you should do your part. And let's not forget, if you're worried about needles, Listen to Boris Johnson. He didn't feel anything. It's almost like it didn't happen. It's amazing. The NHS recommends 3 more scary words I've never heard. There you go. The NHS recommends. Boris recommends. Netanyahu recommends. Erdogan, that friend of the West, recommends. Joe Biden, who can't even make it up a flight of stairs without tripping over, he recommends, if he could get the words out without slurring or forgetting.
Well, it's okay. They can just have his AI do it.
Well, that's true. Keir Starmer recommends. Theresa May recommends. She couldn't even recommend to the EU that Britain was leaving. David Cameron recommends.
Do you know one who they haven't dragged out for this?
Tony Blair.
How did you possibly know?
Tony Blair, who recommends that everyone should have a COVID passport.
It's almost as if they know the Tony Blair brand is a little bit toxic.
Just a bit. If Tony Blair recommended a balanced diet, exercise and vitamin D as a cure for COVID, I would wonder what was in fresh air. I would wonder what they'd poisoned it with.
Same here.
He's such an evil little gargoyle, isn't he? There you go. There you go. So, all the world's most hated. If there was like a wanted poster, most of these names would be on it. These people recommend. And Prince Philip.
Do you leave Prince Phil alone?
How old is he now? Like 130?
99.
His skin is... He's so old. His skin has become see-through.
It has become a little bit translucent.
If you look at the skin under his eyes...
Robot.
Yeah, you can actually see his veins and his muscles. It's like he's the Invisible Man. Only it's taken years to disappear in front of our eyes instead of just moments. He's literally disappearing in front of our eyes. Unlike George Soros, whose face is literally melting. But yes, Prince Philip had the vaccination and he's been in hospital since. So, 99 years old. Or,
to be fair, what a good age.
Well, maybe. Anyway, there you go. There you go. It's all safe. COVID is the risk. Get your jab. Don't ignore the jab. The jab doesn't hurt at all. It's almost like there's no jab. And you can't feel anything. And there's a big old thumbs up from Buffering Boris. Buffering Boris. And you said something else then. Ooh, naughty. Boris the buffoon. Just slouching in a chair while some nurse/actress gives him a vaccine, maybe.
He looks pretty comfy to me.
And, yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's the headline. Boris had his vaccine and I literally did not feel a thing. There you go. It's that easy. And again, sir, if you're being held against your will, please let us know. Make a hand signal, something. Blink. Oh, look. He's shady overlords in the background there. You see that? His handlers.
How can I see it? We're not sharing the screen. That's very cruel of you.
Oh, well. Just agree with me.
I will say, there is a picture, a marvellous picture of him on the BBC. He's doing the old Boris thumbs up. I've just sent you the link.
Okay,
oh, what a wonderful image to leave on.
Right, let's have a look at this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Let me just see if that's lined up.
It will be just fine. You can copy
there
the.
we go. There we go.
You can copy the thing anyway.
Look at his eyes.
I don't know what you mean.
Is that the face of someone who's just given up? Who's just laughing? Is he laughing behind that mask?
I don't know. That doesn't look like a A happy boy. But
Do you,
that's just a hilarious picture to leave on.
do you remember we were looking at pictures of Boris and we thought one was fake because he was all gaunt and he lost all that flab around his face?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. I wonder when this picture was taken then, because that flab's still there.
It's an interesting question. Because there's no reason that he had to have had that done when they said it was. There's nobody there other than the nurse, him and the photographer. And let's be honest, the standard of these pictures, anybody could have taken them.
It looks...
Could have taken them on a flip phone.
Yeah, it looks like there's a needle, but who knows? But yeah,
well, let's assume there is.
Why is... He can't both be Flabby Boris and Gaunt Boris. Which means this picture was taken some time ago. Or Gaunt Boris isn't Boris.
Flabby Boris.
Well, look, you can see his chin hanging out round the bottom of the mask.
It is true, actually. It's quite remarkable how you're able to do that under a mask.
I wonder if someone drew the mask on. He did not feel a thing. That's amazing. Okay, I've made this too big. That's actually breaking my eyes.
Anyway, is that all?
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Big thumbs up from Boris the buffoon. Oh, look. See, there's Gaunt Boris. The third picture. It's not the same Boris, I'm just calling it. Boris's twin, maybe, or a stand-in.
How is his hair changed so much from picture to picture?
The wind.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I'll accept wind. I don't know why I forgot the wind existed.
It's because you haven't been outside in a year.
This is what happens when we're locked indoors.
Anyway, there you go. That's what we wanted to talk about tonight. The ridiculous nature of the whole farce and, again...
We wanted a good time. There you go. That's what we wanted.
We did. We thought... We've been covering some rather heavy topics and, yes.
And quite honestly, we were meant to be covering a heavy topic tonight when we were recording this. But the intro may have given it away a little bit. Neither of us were in the mood for serious.
It's not just that. We've got some amazing stories coming up for you tomorrow night. And that's
well, no. We've got amazing stories coming up for them last week.
Back to the Future. Do.
That's the wrong show.
Yes, it's weird because we're obviously pre-recording this. But you'll find out, or you'll know, by the way, by the time we have this discussion, what we were laughing about. And it would have been Saturday's show. And this is incredibly weird. So I think on that note, we're going to say thank you as always for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've had a bit of a light-hearted moment, a bit of a laugh. Mm-hmm. And it's always a pleasure to have you here with us. We will be back as normal tomorrow night, 7:30. And we hope to see you there. So it's good night from me.
Indeed. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care all. Bye.